All right, Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rocha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well and labor in this word and doctrine. So I'm just on a break from this course I'm doing. And an individual who just saw me walk around getting some air, he just came up to me because he thought I was lost. Really, just wanted to get, there's not really much to do for me to do and on my break up in this fucking city center. I hate this place. And I wanted to do a video. I just didn't really, I was just letting my thoughts ponder. And then, I was trying to find somewhere quiet and hope this is all right. But one of the things he was talking to me about, because he was like a welder. He was working with steel. He was showing me some stuff that he was just doing, some work he was doing, making brackets and stuff for around this chapel, which was where we're inside the chapel doing the course, right? So he manages the certain things around it basically. And one of the things he said, man, was things are getting real expensive now, man. All this steel comes from Ukraine, right? And with everything that's happening right now, of course, inflation is going to occur. And he told me how there was a long sheet of steel. It was 20 foot. We were just looking at like the length that he was giving an example of. It was around 20 foot. And that used to be £16 for that sheet of steel. But he said now, it's 80 British pounds. Okay? And he said, certain works and labors he had to do, it would cost around about, what did he say? Around 800 now? Sorry, 800 before. And then now it's 1900. And certain occasions where he had to do work, he would labor. Actually, you know how it be when you're welding steel, just making steel, certain apparatuses for certain purposes. And after he's done, sometimes they don't even want it, because they ain't gonna pay for that. So he labor pretty much in vain, and he's in debt now. But sometimes, because it costs too much to do certain labors, he's gonna be out of work. And you're gonna see more of that, man. This is literally just the beginning. That's just a little testimony that I heard, and just made me want to do a video. I just want to get this in Isaiah 19. And it's in verse 15. It says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt." And when you go into this chapter of Isaiah 19, it's actually talking really about spiritual Egypt, and that is indeed America, Babylon the Great, as the scripture says. All right, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, as is written in Revelation 11 and 8. So when it says there shall be, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, all right, going into those of higher up, those of the lower up, all right, the rulers and the bottom of the bottom. And it says branch or rush may do. All right, it's not going to be work, no labors for people, man. People are going to have a problem getting work, all right, to be able to actually get any food, electricity, bills paid or whatever. All right, and this is going to cause a lot of fear. That's why, hey, in verse 16, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women. And like, that's, if the men going to be like women, what are the women going to be like? As Brother Moshe said at camp, not men. All right, they're not going to rise to the occasion and get all strong and mighty. That's all that fucking Lara Croft Tomb Raider type shit. No way. All right, it says, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women. And again, this is talking about spiritual Egypt, Babylon the Great. Of course, this is going to affect the whole world. I mean, if it's affecting, the kingdom that basically all rulerships are basically are being subdued under, okay, and of course it's going to affect the other nations, other kingdoms and nations, of course, in terms of the actual nation, because your nation is determined by your father, right? And that this also goes into everybody in Egypt, not just in spiritual Egypt, right? It goes to everybody in Babylon the Great, regardless of your nation, man. Whether you're an Israelite, an Edomite, an Ishmaelite, an Elamite, wherever it may be. Okay. Again, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, very, very, very effeminate, very weak. All right, very vulnerable. That says, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, right, which He shaketh over it, right? Because that's what's happening, man. It's, we're slowly starting to see the Most High bring forth His judgment, not hold back on His wrath, man. And it's going to get worse and worse, man, worse and worse. And again, people are doing work, but the laboring is in vain. It's idle. It's worthless. There's no value in it. Okay. The 2 Ezra 16 and 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And our battle is a spiritual battle. Okay. We ain't gonna take up swords and do some crazy shit. there's a spiritual warfare with everything that's going on, because they're gonna create a lot of fear in the people by coming down with that wrath, and they being Iman, they're gonna do a lot of enforcing so people can take the charagma, all right, take that chip in the right and the forehead. And then when it goes into us being, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Pilgrims again goes into those that are traveling, right? But basically, there might be scenarios that people will have to do some form of traveling in whatever circumstance you don't necessarily know. But really, what it's going into, to be a pilgrim means not to try settle down, all right, and try establish yourself in whatever captivity you are. And of course it says in these times, so certainly, because how are you really going to do that? You're going to have to conform to taking that charagma. That's the ultimate way. Okay, there's going to be steps to it, but ultimately, we have to remember what the scriptures say, man. Who are we supposed to trust in, not to try save our life in that day? Let me get scriptures on that. Matthew 16, I believe, towards the end it says, Matthew 16 and verse 24. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. And to take up your cross again, taking up that suffering, to be basically to go up, basically have that affliction. And this will be a form of tribulation when things get wild, because we're gonna have to go through a little bit of hardship when the circumstances get quite rough, man. Because we're still gonna be on earth, all right. Contrary to Christianity doctrine, we're gonna be on this earth during the time of tribulation. No, Acts 14:22 makes it very clear. Through much tribulation we shall enter the kingdom of the Most High. Now it says, then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Right? We must follow Yahushua, and he had to suffer. We have to go through sufferings like he did, man. And let us glorify the Most High that we suffer these things that we suffer for righteousness' sake, because we're not conforming to wickedness, and ultimately they're gonna get the real judgment, man. All right, but really, the stuff that's gonna happen, if we're of the elect, the Most High, he's gonna create a hedge about us from all these brute beasts, from all this chaos that's about to occur. Okay. Now it says in verse 25, and whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. And that's part of us being as pilgrims, not try to save our life in this world, not try to establish great prosperity in this world with the doctrine of this world in mind. Because of course there's nothing wrong with bettering a circumstance, but really, if you really want to so-called make it in this world, be a somebody, as they say, you have to sell out, man. You have to, ultimately, that's what you have to do. If you want to really go up there, make all this money, you have to basically be involved heavily into the philosophies of Babylon the Great, which the whole world is drinking up that wine, right? That the wine symbolizes that doctrine. They're all sipping up, and they're drunk with that wine, man. Okay. Now it says here in verse 26, for what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? And really nothing. Okay. And then again it reads, for the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, then he shall reward every man according to his works. Okay. Now if your works are the wicked, you're gonna get the reward of the wicked. You're gonna get what's coming to you, man. Alright, so in 2 Esdras 16 in verse 41, sorry. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. Again, being as somebody, who's not really trying to be try to create some stability in this world, in living a life of this world. Okay, all the stuff that we do, we have to really just deny it, reject it, okay, and remember that we just have to basically try to better our circumstance to a just wait, okay, until Yahushua comes back, man, and delivers the elect, and Lord willing, we're of that number, okay. And it reads in verse 43 is the point. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. Forgive me, I believe it's not that point. Keep going. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And verse 45 is the point. And therefore, they that labor in vain, right? Because what's it all going to be for? Ultimately, it's going to be just for literally nothing. Because everything that he's got, his kingdom that he's established, is going to be taken down, man, when Yahushua returns. So it is really in vain. And people already are seeing that the labor is in vain, because they're not going to make any profit, because the world's in that financial crisis to a degree right now. It's just the beginning of it. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse until it's just absolutely horrendous for everyone in the world, I should say. Because it's not going to be horrendous for us if we are truly the men's, the Lord's elect. All right, it's going to be a joyous thing. We're going to rejoice because we're going to see these things, and we're going to know that Yahushua is coming soon. Then it reads in verse 46, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, right? Because when all hell breaks loose, when there is this financial crisis, people are going to go out and do crazy stuff, man, and show you that these devils are going to show you their horns, man. These little grimy ass fucking Jakes and dirty fucking ass hillbilly Edomites. All right, and all these stupid ass fucking bug out little Mohammedans swinging their machetes about the place. We're going to see, man. You're going to see how bad it's going to get out here, man. All right, it says, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses and take their children captives, or in captivity, and famine shall they get, and famine shall they get children. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. There you go. Excuse me for messing that one up. All right, and they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. Okay, let's get the scripture. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 11. It says, for whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. Their faith is vain, man, because hope and faith are synonyms. All right, their labor is unfruitful. Right, they don't bear any fruit in their works, and their works unprofitable. Right. Basically, going to the same thing. Okay, and when people don't get any profit, who are they going to seek after for help, man? They're not going to look to the God of Israel. They're going to look after their master, man. All right, our people, they're going to look after their favorite master in the world, man, E. And then the whole world, of course, they're going to look up to E. Who else do they know as their God? Alright, Slachia. Alright, vehicles driving by. It's pretty loud around where I'm at. It's the city, so you know how it'd be. Alright, but the true fruitful labors, alright, because of course we do have to labor in this world to better our circumstance, to actually have some level of substance. You know what I'm saying? But the best labor you can do, the only true labors that's going to be like profitable is for salvation. Alright, is Hebrews 6 and 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have shewed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. Okay, so of course, right now, as everything is going right now, you still have to do what you can to provide, as that is part of, being the man of the Lord. Of course, you can't just neglect providing, okay, with the things of like the material forms of wealth. And forgive me, I have to move away from this vehicle. Okay. But as it reads again, Hebrews 6 and 10, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have shewed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints, who the saints, the Israelites, and do minister. Right. So I'm in this video here. Wasn't trying to make this too long. I just thought I'd make a quick video regarding on what the individual has said to me. Alright, once again, I hope this video was edifying. I'm going to give all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well and labor in this word and doctrine. Shalom.